kiddos, guess what? You guys made it to week 3 of our distance learning. I bet it's getting even easier now. You're getting the flow of things and you're feeling more and more comfortable using the program. So we're going to get started today, and today we're going to move into a type of speech or a part of speech called pronouns. Alright, so last week we were talking about nouns, and we know that nouns are people, places, or things. They can be ideas as well, and emotions, but for the purpose of our work today, we're going to focus on people, places, and things. So those are nouns. Today we're going to talk about pronouns, and it has that base word in there, nouns. But what pronouns do, they take the place of nouns. Of nouns, which is why you see that word noun in there. So if they take the place of nouns, can they still be a person, a place, or a thing? Think about it. Think about what's happening. If it's taking the place of a noun, and a noun is a person, place, or thing, can a pronoun also be a person, a place, or a thing? Yes, it can represent that. So I'm going to draw our little pictures here. Our little pencil, which represents a thing. So we have nouns are people, places, or things. A pronoun can take the place of a noun. So we're going to learn about 2 types of pronouns today. That is subject pronoun and object pronoun. Now, when you think of subject, what do you think of? Think about those parts of a sentence. What is a subject? It is who or what the sentence is about. So when we're using what we would call a subject pronoun, we're using it to replace the subject of a sentence. So that pronoun is who or what the sentence is about. Now, some subject pronouns that we have are I, you, she, he, it, we, you, and they can be considered plural. Now, you is in both because it can be one person or it can be many. It depends who they're speaking to, right? So if I say you, need to make sure I'm talking to the whole class, right? Now, in this passage, after we read it, we're going to circle the subject pronouns. These are the pronouns that take the place of the subject. So as I'm reading, Letitia has a pet snake. Yesterday, she brought the snake to school. Now, she here is replacing Letitia, and it is the subject of the sentence because she is the one doing the action. She is the one the sentence is about. Every time we use a pronoun, it is taking the place of a subject. Now, why is it important to use pronouns? Because we don't want to be repetitive. We don't want to continue using the same words over and over again, right? So as we continue, the other kids asked a lot of questions. They wanted to know what the snake eats. Think about it. Who is they? It's the other kids. And it's taking place of the subject part of a sentence because they are the ones doing the action of wanting something, right? Let's continue on. Letitia explained, Dad and I get mice at the pet store. So here I see the pronoun I. It is a subject pronoun because, again, it's doing the action. This person is part of the one who is getting the mice. So in a subject, who or what the sentence is about, those are the ones doing the action. And this is important, and we'll see why when we get to object pronoun, okay? Let's continue on. Then we feed the mice to the snake. Now, we is a subject pronoun. It is representing Dad and I. So again, it's taking the place of different nouns. Let's finish reading on. Hank asked Letitia if the snake could come out of the cage. I don't see any pronouns here, so I'll keep going. She said no. Do you see a pronoun? I do. What do you think she represents? What do you think she represents? She represents Letitia, right? It might get scared and try to escape. Do you see a pronoun? Yes, it. And it is talking about, what do you think? The snake. Now, because it is at the beginning of my sentence, it is the subject pronoun because it's the one that might get scared. It's the one that is going to do that action. It's the subject of the sentence. Foolishly, Hank ignored the warning and opened the cage. The snake slithered out. I haven't seen any more pronouns yet. Have you? Hank, you should not have done that. So here I see you, and you can be a subject pronoun as well. So in this little paragraph, we found all of our subject pronouns that talk about who or what those sentences were about, and they are taking the place of regular nouns. So let's talk about object. Object pronouns are a little bit different. We can have me, we can have you again, her, him, it, us, you, or them. Now these are going to be used differently. Now remember how subject pronouns are who or what the sentence is about and they're doing the action of the sentence? Well, an object pronoun receives the action. That means they're not doing an action, but something is happening to them or about them or with them. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Bella and Brayden squealed. The snake is coming right toward us. So here's one of my object pronouns. And the reason they are receiving the action of the snake coming toward them. So the snake is the subject. They are the object. They are receiving the action. Letitia quickly caught it. It, which is representing the snake still, but here it's an object because somebody's going to catch it, right? It is receiving an action of being caught. And she put it, again, it's the one being put somewhere, so it is receiving an action. Back in the cage. The snake's tongue darted in and out. Letitia explained that the tongue was sniffing her. So her is talking about Letitia, but here she's receiving the action of being sniffed. So she is an object pronoun. Sorry, her is an object pronoun. Hank was curious. Has a snake ever bitten you? Now here, it could be a subject pronoun or an object pronoun when we're talking about you, but since it's the one receiving the action of being bitten, possibly being bitten, it is an object pronoun because an object pronoun receives an action. He asked. Now here, he is a subject pronoun, so we're not going to circle it because he is doing the action. It's not receiving the action. No, Letitia told him. So here, him is an object pronoun because it's receiving the action of being told. It likes me. This sentence is interesting because it has two pronouns. Do you see the two pronouns? But there's only one object pronoun. It is me. Why is me the object pronoun? Think. Look at your notes. Think again. Read the sentence. Think again. It's receiving the action, right, of being liked. In fact, pet snakes rarely bite unless someone bothers them. So them is our object pronoun here. It is receiving the action of being bothered. So it is an object pronoun. So big difference here, right? With subject and object pronouns, we're looking at who is doing an action, who's the subject, and who is receiving the action, who's the object. So some steps you want to take whenever you're trying to figure this out is you're going to read the sentence, right? And you're going to find out if the pronoun is in the subject. Is it doing an action, or is it the object receiving the action? So you want to look for pronoun or where it belongs, right? So maybe it's already there, maybe you need to add it, but you need to find out where it belongs. And then you want to check, is it the subject? So is it doing the action? Or is it the object? Does it receive the action of the sentence? Because that is going to be a big deciding factor on what type of pronoun you're going to use. And what's very important is that you can't switch them. If you try to use an object pronoun in the subject, you're going to hear it doesn't sound correct, because we use these pronouns all the time. We use them every day. And we wouldn't switch them. Like, I couldn't say, instead of I went to the store, I'm not going to say me went to the store, right? So you'll hear those mistakes when you're reading, and that's why reading the sentence is very, very important. So last step you want to do is read again. Make sure it's making sense if you had to add it somewhere. All right? So let's look at our exit ticket for today. Your exit ticket will be on Teams. Okay? Make sure that you have watched any YouTube videos I've put up about pronouns in case you need help. You look at the notes from our mini lesson page. You look at the anchor chart on pronouns that I will be posting for you as well. And you're going to go to Teams. You're going to submit your responses for 1 through 12. And it's going to be an A, B, or C choice, because you're going to be choosing one of those pronouns to go in the blank. Now I want to show you example number 1. The man who lives next door to blank grows vegetables. First of all, do you think these people are receiving the action or giving the action? I think they're receiving, because the man who lives next door to, they're receiving the action. And since we is a subject pronoun, you're going to notice it doesn't make sense. Watch. The man who lives next door to we grows vegetables. Do you agree that that doesn't make sense? We can hear it, right? We can hear it because we speak this way. The man who lives next door to us grows vegetables. Well, us is an object pronoun. We know they are receiving the action of someone living next to them. So that could be a good option. They is a subject pronoun. And we talked about how they, or this sentence, we're not looking for a subject pronoun. We're looking for the object. Who is receiving the action of the man living next to them, right? So we can automatically also get rid of they. Watch how it doesn't make sense. The man who lives next door to they grows vegetables. So we put us and we read it one more time. The man who lives next door to us grows vegetables. Love it. It's our answer choice. So when you go to Teams, you're going to choose letter B, for example. And what's really important about reading, and I know, hey, maybe you have to read it 3 times. Doesn't matter. You know what? Your brain's going to get smarter. It's going to start recognizing things. It's going to start remembering things. You're learning new vocabulary words. So it's okay if you have to read it more than 1 time. It is a good strategy. So when you go to your exit ticket, go back to the subject and object pronouns you copy down. They can help you. Make sure you have watched the YouTube video about pronouns. Make sure you look at the anchor chart about pronouns. Use all the tools you can to help you. Do your best. Good luck. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye, boys and girls.